Open any social media feed or major news channel right now, and a very common theme appears repeatedly. The impression is one of widespread economic decline, as if entire societies are simply running out of work. In the United Kingdom, you can see the decay clearly. Broadcasters track shrinking opportunities, weak hiring, and a decline in entry-level office and retail roles. In India, the crisis hits different sectors. Engineering graduates and IT workers, people who spent years preparing for what they thought were the most stable careers on the market, are facing sudden layoffs as international clients pull back. Look at these historical images of the Great Depression. When people see today's hiring freezes, they map those anxieties directly onto these historical failures. They fear that a period of universal joblessness is inevitable. But that consensus is a psychological illusion. The crisis we are experiencing is a structural shift, rather than a total absence of work. It is a misunderstanding of what is actually happening to the global economy. While headlines focus on layoffs, a different reality exists on the ground. Massive labor shortages are actively hindering critical physical and infrastructure sectors. Essential industries are seeking labor with increasing urgency. Hospitals cannot find enough nurses. Infrastructure projects are stalled, waiting for machine operators. Advanced manufacturing and logistics companies are trying to hire staff they simply cannot find. This creates a strange paradox. Companies claim they cannot find suitable employees, while millions of educated people simultaneously claim they cannot find jobs. Surprisingly, both statements are true. Modern economies still contain vast numbers of available jobs. However, they often lack the specific white-collar, office-based roles that an entire generation of workers expected, trained for, or socially preferred. This is a story of transition. Vacancies and unemployment coexist because the available work often doesn't align with what workers were trained for. When you read a headline that says a major corporation is cutting 500 jobs, it's easy to assume the company is shrinking. The internal reality is often more complex. This chart tracks corporate jobs during restructuring. The overall headcount stays steady. The company eliminates routine administrative roles while aggressively recruiting AI experts. The disappearing roles are specific: basic data entry, standard support, and routine workflows. AI systems complete these tasks rapidly and cheaply. Historically, industrial revolutions replaced manual labor with heavy machinery. Today, the disruption is targeting the first rung of educated white-collar work. These entry-level office tasks were once the primary way junior employees entered professional industries. The macroeconomy is reorganizing around different technological priorities. It is a painful period of restructuring, but the underlying need for labor is shifting rather than disappearing. This creates a deep existential shock. For decades, parents encouraged children to pursue university degrees because higher education appeared to be a shield against technological unemployment. AI excels at digital processing, but it struggles in messy, unpredictable physical environments. It is difficult to automate real-world adaptation, responsibility, or human judgment. The resilient professions today rely on physical presence and technical expertise. Take electricians and mechanics, specialized field engineers, or surgeons and nurses. In these fields, AI functions as a tool that assists the worker, rather than a system that replaces them. This shift creates intense social friction. In places like India, middle-class aspirations and parental expectations have been strictly tied to corporate office employment for years. Watching those sectors become automated is a significant cultural blow. For the first time in modern history, certain skilled physical professions may offer greater long-term stability than routine desk jobs. This represents a significant shift for a society that has long prioritized white-collar work. The gap between the jobs we trained for and the jobs that actually exist creates a transition lag. This graph illustrates the problem. Industry demand pivots quickly toward AI integration and green energy. The workforce moves much more slowly. Workers cannot reposition themselves overnight, creating the appearance of widespread unemployment. This lag is normal. During early industrial revolutions, weavers faced severe friction as they adapted to mechanical looms. The transition period is always the most disruptive part of the economic cycle. The defining issue of the 2020s is whether our educational and social institutions can adapt quickly enough to keep pace with these changing labor realities. Right now, a structural breakdown in communication is making this transition period longer than it needs to be. Look at how these systems fail to connect. Industries know what they need, but universities teach outdated curricula, leaving workers relying on rumors. The solution is a centralized mass communication framework, universities and governments continuously broadcasting clear, real-time labor data directly to the public. In an era where AI can rapidly change the composition of work, reliable data flow between these institutions is just as critical as physical infrastructure. To navigate this restructuring, we must look past the headlines. Success depends on aligning our skills with transparent, real-world economic needs rather than outdated expectations.